As you probably know, there's a concept called intrinsic motivation and extrinsic motivation. So an interesting study was done at West Point over a period of about 9 years with 10,000 cadets. And they were trying to determine what is the impact of intrinsic motivation and extrinsic motivation on performance of the cadets as they were in the academy, and also what about their performance once they became a military officer, and then how many of those re-upped for an additional enlistment after they started their military career. Intrinsic motivation is tested as well as extrinsic by the academy at the beginning of their freshman year. And they take a values test. So what's important to them? They might ask, why are you here in the military academy? So an intrinsic motivation might be, I'm patriotic, I want to serve my country, I've always wanted to be a military officer, my parents or my father or grandfather were in the military, and I'm interested in doing that. And extrinsic might be, well, I'm also patriotic, but I'm getting a free education, so I think this is good. And I think graduating from a prestigious institution like the United States Military Academy will be good for me when I get into business later. So they had these, they could easily translate then intrinsic and extrinsic values that motivated these cadets. Here are some of the findings. Those cadets who had intrinsic motivation statistically always did better in their grades while they were students than those who were primarily motivated by extrinsic reasons. Those who had intrinsic motivation were, once they went on active duty, were usually promoted ahead of their class compared to those with extrinsic motivation, and more of those with intrinsic motivation decided to continue on in a military career. So we have both performance and retention impacted. Now, an interesting thing happened. When you started adding extrinsic motivation to the motivation package of those people who were primarily intrinsically motivated, their performance dropped. Later they tested with signing up for enlisted soldiers. They said, why don't we give them not only the GI Bill, but let's give them a signing bonus. Well, they had a huge amount of soldiers sign up. So the volume was great. The performance of those people were primarily lousy because they were all extrinsically motivated. So the question is, are you intrinsically motivated? Are you coming from a deep place of belief and values? Or are you primarily extrinsically motivated? This is Carl Hicks, your Success Whisperer, suggesting that upside down thinking can help clarify who you are and what you want to do in life. Thank you.